In honor of the second anniversary of the passing of our dear friend, the incredible artist and humanist Hung Lu, TurnerCarroll Gallery presents an online exhibition, Hung Lu, Memory and Revolution. Born in Changchun, China in 1948, Hung Lu's first experiences of life were marked by Mao Zedong's oppressive rule. Her father, a captain in the Nationalist Army, was imprisoned in a labor camp when she was just a baby. Her mother, seeking to protect their family from the government, destroyed all photographs, including him. Lu's lack of photos documenting her own family was foundational in her reverence for historic photographs as inspiration for her paintings. Upon finishing high school in Beijing in 1968, the Cultural Revolution pushed Hung into the countryside for re-education. She worked there nonstop for 4 years, alongside peasants in rice, wheat, and cornfields. There, she cultivated her commitment to photography, art, painting, and, most importantly, the people she documented. After 4 years passed, Hung returned to Beijing to attend the Central Academy of Art, where she trained as a social realist painter. She waited there 7 years to receive passport approval from the Chinese government to pursue a master's degree in painting at UC San Diego in the United States. Hung Lu once told me that there were 2 types of women she encountered in China: workers who became sexual objects to be exploited by men, and workers who became revolutionaries. These people, the workers and prostitutes she encountered in the fields in China, live on as subjects in her paintings today.
I get like a lot of my images, the human figures you see, they're all anonymous. They never had a real name documented. They never have their life story and family. A lot of women, especially the young prostitute, the family, just so poor, so them never, remember them or try not to, and they never, had family, had anything left, but they had a life.
Upon returning to China several years after she immigrated to the United States, Hung discovered an album of photographs of young prostitutes at the Beijing Film Archive. She honored their identities by painting a series based on these photographs, in which she elevates them to a life of beauty and respect. Hung Lu uses her paintings to practice the Chinese cultural tradition of calling spirits home after death. She preserves and honors the photographic images and faces of these workers and prostitutes or concubines, whose circumstances erase their names and stories from history. In her series on prostitutes, Hung Lu calls home the spirits of women who were rebranded with names inspired by precious stones and flowers, like jade, ruby, rose, or lily. Lu acknowledges and honors the lost people in her works by surrounding them with traditional and symbolic elements that bless their past of torment and strife with a sense of honor and dignity. She surrounds their portraits with gold, flowers, butterflies, and more, and adorns these pieces with gifts at the top of each painting to summon their spirits to an eternal resting place she creates in her art. Hung Lu does what history failed to do. She gives these women the life they deserve. Hung Lu's painting Travelogue depicts a migrating family on a journey much like her own, being delivered on a tray to safety by the Buddhist goddess-like figure of Tara, who represents mercy and safe passage. The red bovine figures behind the migrating family represent good fortune and hope for their future. In 1984, Hung Lu immigrated to the United States, where she could explore art and life without a constricting communist regime breathing down her neck. For example, her painting Modern Time represents a double image of 2 very different dreams. On the right, a worker is momentarily lost in a reverie, yet caught in the modern dream of a socialist utopia, as Marx, Engels, Lenin, and Stalin hang above her on a wall of Chinese red. On the left, The same worker now takes on the musings of an artist who dreams of a different modernity, one less rational, more fluid and expressionistic than political ideology might allow. The portraits above her are by and of Vincent van Gogh, whose tragic alienation from modern society suggests individual nightmares as much as collective dreaming. Meanwhile, the Mao clocks on the shelves around the paintings tick away as modern time unwinds its revolutionary inevitability. Hung Lu arrived in the United States, and her expectations for the treatment of immigrants and gender roles were quickly confronted with the reality that our country was less progressive than she had hoped. She saw how women continued to be delegated to the role of either sexual object or worker, a sentiment she conveys through the working woman in Laundry Lady. Decades later, upon discovering Dorothea Lange's Dust Bowl-era photographs in 2015, Hung Lu became fascinated with the struggle of migrants and the experiences of American farm workers during the Depression. Inspired and empathetic to their experiences, Lu created a series of portraits based on Lange's photographs that dignified these downtrodden subjects, just like she had done with the Chinese subjects from her childhood. Hung Lu honors the women and workers from her personal history and from all of history, through her life as a humanist painter. Today, we witness her deep compassion for humanity and her lifelong commitment to preserving and honoring those lost throughout history in Hung Lu, Memory and Revolution.